Hello, and welcome back to another uh, episode of Star Screamer Reviews. Today, we will be reviewing the Transformers Netflix War for Cybertron Megatron 3-pack, including Megatron as well as the weaponizer, the little weapon dudes, Pinpointer and Lionizer. We will be starting off with Megatron and getting into Pinpointer and Lionizer a little later. As for the main figure for the thing, this is a very nice looking Megatron, and though he is very G1 inspired, and though the recent Studio Series 86 one is, well, more G1 inspired, this is a very nice version of it, with him being battle damaged and war torn, with the extra scratch marks and dust painting on the figure, legs, crotch, and chest plate, along with the Decepticon logo being scratched up a bit on the chest. This one is from the Netflix toy line, where they went ahead and redecoed some of the Siege and Earthrise and Kingdom figures into more show-accurate versions of themselves for the Netflix toy line. He looks like Megatron, no question about that, including, though this one has a big backpack for the tank treads in robot mode, which we will be getting more into as we transform him to show how they work. But this is still a very nice figure, and though he has a good-sized backpack, I actually think it looks very well on him and actually sort of blends into the design a bit. Either that or I've just gotten too used to it. Getting into articulation, he has a 360 shoulder spin, bend the shoulders out, bend at the elbows with a rotation, as well as his wrist being able to fold in like so due to transformation. He can rotate the head side to side and up and down, and even further down due to a transformation joint. And kick out to the side, back, and has a good 90-degree bend at the knee, as well as ankle rotation, allowing him to do a pretty good split right here. He also possesses a waist rotation, though it can be hindered by the backpack, but if you just start spinning, the backpack will pop up enough for the rotation to go fully. As well as the gun being able to move a bit if you want to do a not straight arm gun pose, like so. Getting into this figure's accessories, the gun can be removed and held like a normal weapon, like so, if you want it. Well, I prefer to keep it on his forearm like a classic Magatron cannon. He also comes with this giant sword that can be put in his hands like so, transformed into its tank mode gun, which I'll go into detail about in transformation, as well as being equipped onto the cannon of Magatron to be an even longer sword, so he can slice you down from afar. He also comes with two minor transformers, one called Pinpointer, who is in gun mode and can be held by Megatron as such, as well as a figure called Lionizer, who transforms into a sword and can be held in his other hand. Both of these smaller figures come with blast effects, a red swoosh effect, as well as a little blast bit here, which can be pegged into the gun barrel of Pinpointer, as well as any number of blast effect ports on the body, as well as into Megatron's own fusion cannon as such. As for the swoosh effect, it can be pegged onto Lionizer by lining these three pegs up with these three holes here, giving the sword a nice little swoosh effect, as well as being able to peg onto the sword through either this big peg or this peg here, depending on where exactly you want it, as seen here. As for Pinpointer and Lionizer themselves, their gun and sword modes are very nice, though they are a bit bulky compared to other Transformer guns and weaponry. However, they are like Target Masters from the original toy line and thus can transform. First, for Pinpointer, as we put Lionizer off to the side, unpeg the arms from the top of the legs and which are the back of the guns, and unpeg the feet from the barrels of the gun. Fold the legs up, and then fold down here at the crotch, and split the legs. Stand the figure up, straightening out the shoulders, and folding the gun down to fully transform Pinpointer. It's a very simple transformation, though it does create a very nice looking robot mode while also revealing a red chest and head, which adds a bit more color to the figure itself. You can also detach the gun from the back of the figure and peg it into this little hole here on either forearm and allow him to use his gun like so. It is still blast effect compatible with the blast effects here. The actual figure comes with two of these little red ones. Sadly, I have lost one of them over the years and only have one of them left, but it still works in either one of these holes. As for Lionizer, as we put Pinpointer off to the side, again, very nice sword mode, bit bulky down at the handle, but can transform. Begin by folding the handle in, revealing the lion head. Unpeg the front lion legs from the back and rotate them around fully. This will also cause the back legs to unpeg from these peg holes underneath. Straighten all those out and fold the sword blade up to add like a cannon to the top of the lion. This creates a nice looking orange line with a silver head, which adds a bit more color separation to the figure. Honestly, this is a very nice figure to mess around with. Sadly, he loses his blast effect compatibility in this mode, but he too can detach the cannon now from the rest of the body and peg the handle into this peg hole on this side. Sadly, not on this side since it's too small. Doing so, you end up having a nice little lion with a sword that can just run at you and slash his Decepticon opponents. Both of these characters are Autobots, most likely captured by Magatron to be used against their comrades. Getting into size comparisons, this is how all three of the figures stack up next to each other. This is how he stacks up next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime, and though this is technically the Siege version of the Megatron, they retooled this mold into the Earthrise one, so this is a good comparison between the two either way. This is how he stands next to the Siege Soundwave, who is just a tad bit shorter than him. This is how he stands next to the Legacy G-Axis. And finally, the Age of the Primes Megatronus. Okay, on to transformation. I'll be showing two variations of the tank mode, one using the extra sword weapon and one without. To begin with, we'll fold the head down so that into this little hole here, as such. We will then proceed to rotate the can around while folding the hands into the forearms. Spin the figure around and lift up the backpack all the way up till it's pointing up like such. Then proceed to spin it around and unpeg the forearms from the rest of the body. Lift up these little flaps here till they cover up his shoulder spikes on both forearms, on both shoulders like so. Proceed to peg the arms together with this peg hole here and this peg on the cannon, as such. We will then turn the figure around and split open the backpack. We will then proceed to fold the front over and peg it into both of the side treads with these peg holes here pegging into these pegs on this panel. Then proceed to hinge the entirety of the tank up and into this hole here, pushing it in like such. Then rotate at the waist, and to do that you're going to have to lift up the arms a bit. Then proceed to put them back down. Flip in these heels here into the feet, and then fold the feet down. Flip the figure over, and at the back of the legs, flip open these bits here, and then spread out the legs. Bend at this joint, right above the knee, on both legs. Then proceed to take the knee joint and bend it around while spinning the upper leg swivel here on both sides, as such. Then bend at the crotch joint there so we can fold this panel back in and peg this peg into a peg hole on the other side, which you can see here. Proceed to do this on the opposite side as well. Then take the sword, split the blade in half, then reassemble it underneath once you get the actual can up. Rotate the blade around, and then line it up with underneath the cannon while having the handle peg into the old fusion cannon. This finishes the base tank mode. Now that Megatron's in his old mode, let's take a look at it. It's a very nice looking tank mode with nice painted on like battle markings, as well as very well molded and detailed. I really like how the sword is able to turn into a very nicely detailed cannon for the tank here. It can roll around pretty well with the wheels underneath each of the tread parts. Though, due to how the treads are designed, it makes me think that this was originally supposed to be like a hover tank, sort of similar to the other War for Cybertron Megatron from the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron video games. But as for this one, it is a very nice one with a gray turret which is able to rotate a full 360 with it being centered when it rotates, unlike other tank transformers, especially recent ones. I also like as the black bits that help break up the color separation when in alt mode. Now, as for the alternative tank mode, if you don't want to use the sword, you can simply proceed back to the point of before installing it, at which point you rotate the cannon turret around and lift up the back, or which would now be the front, and rotate the fusion cannon around. Then close it back down, and you have yourself another variant of the tank mode, now without the sword, which honestly is a nice little tank mode in and of itself. Not much changes besides the turret having spun around and the cannon being the actual fusion cannon of the robot mode. Getting into vehicle mode size comparisons, here's how the Netflix Siege Megatron stands next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime in vehicle mode, the Siege Soundwave in his shuttle mode, the Legacy G-Axis figure, which from the G2 comics, which I just liked and wanted to throw in here as a alternate leader for the Decepticons, as well as his namesake and fellow tank transformer Megatronus from the Age of the Primes toy line. All in all, this is a very nice 3-pack for the Megatron and his little weapon guys here. Though he has yellowed a little bit due to some of the plastic yellowing during the War for Cybertron toy line, I honestly think it adds to this figure's overall design with him being a battle war-torn version, so it just makes it seem older and whatnot. Little weapon dudes here are nice and all, and are fun to transform back and forth between their weapons and robot modes, and are comparable with multiple other figures. Transformation for Megatron is simple and fun, and does some neat little tricks to get a very nice looking tank mode, which in my opinion looks better than the Earthrise version. And since I do not have the Studio Series 86 version, this is my go-to G1 Megatron. And considering it's a Voyager instead of a leader, makes him relatively cheaper compared to that newer version. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.